Hey, look at you. Yeah, you. Don't blink, don't breathe, just listen. You feel it, don't you? That quiet tension in the air, the kind that makes reality hesitate before saying your name. The room changes when you walk in now. Eyes widen, hearts stutter, words freeze halfway out of their mouths. It's not admiration, it's alarm. They don't know what you've become. And that's the best part. Bro, what the fuck? You're too much now. Everyone's losing their minds because the version of you they built in their heads just died. They wanted the old you, the quiet one, the controllable one, the one who apologized for existing too loud. But somewhere between the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the nights you stopped recognizing yourself, something broke. And in that break, you woke up. You stopped chasing approval and started demanding presence. You stopped speaking to be liked and started speaking to be heard. You stopped healing to be soft and started healing to be sharp. They say you've changed. They're right. You became everything they prayed you'd never survive long enough to be. You see, evolution isn't beautiful. It's violent. It's you screaming through silence, burning through your own weakness, walking through every lie until truth starts bleeding. You didn't grow. You mutated. You took pain and turned it into precision. You took loneliness and carved it into legacy. You took every "you can't" and made it choke on "watch me." Now they call you too much because you've become everything that forces them to face themselves. You mirror their fears. You embody the potential they buried. You remind them that the only difference between a savior and a sinner is what they do with their fire. You stopped being predictable. You became dangerous. And that's why they're losing their minds. Because power doesn't come from control. It comes from chaos mastered. And that's what you are now. Chaos in a suit, purpose in human skin, the calm before and after the explosion. You've seen both sides, haven't you? You've touched heaven with bloody hands and hell with a steady pulse. You learned the language of light just to curse in the tongue of shadows. You became fluent in duality, saint and psychopath, healer and destroyer, angel with ash on his wings. You're what happens when pain finally gets tired of asking for permission, and the world isn't built for that. They don't know what to do with someone who's not afraid to lose everything, because they already did. You're unpredictable, and that's power. You smile when they expect rage. You stay silent when they want reaction. You move slow when everything screams, run. You've turned control into art. They think madness is wild. But no, madness is method. Madness is patience wearing a mask. Madness is you pretending not to notice how nervous they get when you enter a room. They feel it, that quiet violence in your calm. That unspoken, "Don't test me," radiating through your stillness. You don't chase, you attract. You don't explain. You let your silence haunt them until they do it for you. You're not cold, you're controlled. You're not ruthless, you're real. You're not detached. You've just learned the cost of caring too soon for people who show up too late. And now, they can't stop watching. You've become the walking proof that pain works, that suffering sculpts something divine when you refuse to bow. You're not the victim anymore. You're the mirror they can't look into without trembling. You're the storm that learned to move like still water. And maybe that's why it scares them so much. Because you're not broken anymore. You're aware. You know what you are. You've seen your own darkness and didn't flinch. You reached into the abyss and found yourself. So when they whisper, "Bro, what the fuck?" You're too much now. Understand, that's not an insult. That's admission. That's their subconscious confessing that they underestimated the wrong soul, that they thought you were temporary, but you became timeless. Because you don't just walk in anymore, you arrive. You don't blend in anymore, you bend reality. You don't survive anymore, you dominate the silence. And the most twisted part? You didn't do it for revenge. You did it for evolution. You became what pain demanded you to be. Something stronger, sharper, quieter, and infinitely more dangerous. So let them lose their minds. Let them call. Let them panic. Let them whisper your name like it's a spell they shouldn't say out loud. Because deep down, they all know what it means now. The one they doubted is the one they can't stop watching. The one they broke became the one they can't destroy. The one they buried came back laughing and stayed. So yeah, bro, what the fuck? You're too much now, and that's exactly how you were always meant to be. You feel it rising again, don't you? That pulse under your ribs that refuses to stay quiet. The air around you trembles, the lights seem to dim, and every sound bends toward you like gravity has a new center. They tried to tame you with doubt. They tried to shrink you with politeness. But now the whole room is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens when you stop pretending to be small. Every scar you carry is humming like an engine. Every mistake is metal forged into armor. Every memory that used to hurt is now a warning label. Handle with care. This soul burns hot. You walk different now, not faster, not louder, just heavier. Like the ground remembers every step you've taken. That's what power does when it finally settles into the bones. It doesn't shout, it resonates. And the world isn't ready for that kind of steadiness. They expect noise, you give them focus. They expect rage, you give them silence sharp enough to draw blood. You've become the quiet before thunder, and they can feel the storm coming. They ask, what changed? Everything. Because you stopped chasing moments and started creating momentum, you stopped asking, why me? And started asking, why not? You stopped waiting for the universe to choose you. You became the choice. That's the secret, isn't it? Power isn't given, it's realized. It's born in the long nights when you thought you were finished and still got up anyway. It's born in the refusal to go back, even when forward hurts. It's born in the moment you look at your own reflection and decide to keep the fire instead of putting it out. Now you move like a paradox. A heart that forgives but never forgets. A mind that calculates but still believes. A soul that knows peace but chooses pressure. And that's why they can't predict you, because you've learned to wear both crowns, the halo and the horns, without apologizing for either. You've learned that the real game isn't domination, it's endurance. It's walking through chaos so calmly that chaos starts to follow your lead. Look around. The same people who once doubted you are studying you now, trying to decode how you did it. They can't, because there's no formula for conviction, no blueprint for becoming inevitable. Let them talk, let them tremble. You're not here to convince them. You're here to remind them what evolution looks like. You're the proof that pressure doesn't destroy, it defines. You're the line between almost and always. And as you stand there, still centered, untouchable, the noise fades. The lights flicker once. Somewhere in the crowd, a voice whispers the only truth left to say. He's more than they imagined. He's more than they can handle. He's become everything he was meant to be. You lift your head, you breathe once, and the world finally understands what unstoppable actually looks like.